I have to reevaluate my luck.
Bam, 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 bam.
Kill
Dead
dead
balls.
balls. Woo!
I listened to a podcast earlier today. Our friends, All In for NFTs,
Yeah,
and their theme song is like precisely 30 seconds. I
it's
was like,
yeah.
wow.
They spent some money to get it that awesome like that. There, it does sound really good.
It does. I prefer ours, right?
I do too.
But I
Ours
would.
comes from the
Oh
heart.
wow. I'm like, they have a nice little song going there. Nice little song.
I'm, I'm surprised they didn't hire us to do their jingle for
I can't believe that. They probably just didn't realize how good of
them.
jinglers we were then. So
Exactly.
people, we promised you updates from VeeCon, but you only got the updates if you were on TikTok or if you were on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say drop the ball with that. I mean, yes, it's pretty easy to record, but we are having an amazing time.
We're having an amazing time. And really, if you're on here, you probably are following us on TikTok or following us on Twitter. And so
Yes.
you're probably seeing updates as we went along. So think of those as like mini podcasts.
And anyone knew that we had met from the VCon this weekend. Welcome and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. So that was, I think, overall, the best part about VeeCon was all the people we met.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, like there were just so many. Now, I did come into an awkward situation today. One of the people we met is running a project called Dragon Forge NFTs. They just launched. And so I joined their Discord to kind of check them out. And I messaged in the general chat and just said, hey, it was great to meet you. It was awesome. And he was like, can you give me your real name so I know which person you were?
He was wearing his shirt all weekend. So
Yes.
every single person he talked to, he was talking about his project and everything. So
Yes,
yeah,
he
I
was.
imagine that was pretty exciting for him.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I did not respond in case you wondered. I'm like,
Oh, you didn't?
no.
Well, I mean, some of the things we were talking about anyways.
Well, and I think,
which if you want to go into details right now, I think now is the perfect time to talk about that a little bit more.
for which thing?
For just your process of buying NFTs right now and possibly what you're doing moving forward.
Oh yeah, so that came up today, which this isn't really about VeeCon, but I have found that a lot of times when I'm buying NFTs, we talked at length about how we like to buy things for the artwork and blah, blah, blah. But I've started to come around to the point where a lot of times we're just funding somebody's vision. And I don't want to be a Kickstarter campaign or a GoFundMe for a person. So I feel like that's how Hammer Dragon Winery was, which they're still going. They're still having their Wednesday night sessions, but they never sold out. They had all these big plans and, all these things that we just thought were amazing that we've talked about at length. And because they didn't hit their goals, their stretch goals, you never got those.
Yes.
And I don't like that, right? Like there's sometimes where I don't mind being a benefactor, right? Like when we bought our maidens, I knew we were being benefactors and I was totally okay with being a benefactor. I thought it was appropriate. When you're buying one-of-one art from people, I think you're being a benefactor and then that's cool.
Yeah.
But if it's a 10,000 project, I'm not there to be a benefactor. I'm there for the utility or for some other reason or for flipping.
Yes.
Not to. Now I say that, but I'm considering buying Crypto Boy to help support their cause. And I've thought about joining other DAOs to help support their social causes. So that's a different kind of a thing.
Yes.
But again, it's kind of where you're at, which I forgot the Crypto Boy was dropped today. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't remember. I must have missed the Crypto Boy. Was that something we saw at VeeCon or is that just something else?
Yeah, it was at VeeCon.
I don't remember the crypto boy. See, it's a good thing we're talking about this.
So one of the performers that performed on day one
Mm-hmm.
performed and said, "Here's my new song, Crypto Boy, which I'm releasing as an NFT on Tuesday to help raise money for."
Oh, I forgot.
And she had Pussy Riot on stage with her, and
Yep. Okay, yeah, I forgot all about that.
so that was today. So I've never been part of that platform and that kind of song release, so I'm still a little iffy because it's a new platform for me.
Yeah. What platform was that? Do you remember?
I almost said Soundgarden, but that's probably not right.
Soundgarden. Okay, I wasn't sure if you know off the top of your head. Well, I mean,
No.
I thought that was appropriate to talk about because it came from VeeCon, and
It did.
one thing I've actually bought an NFT since leaving VeeCon, and I bought the Mark Manson, The Art of Not Giving, an NFT. So when I was sitting, and that was Sunday, so you weren't there.
Okay.
I was sitting next to a guy, and he was looking him up because I've never read the book. I've seen
Mhm.
it. It just wasn't something that caught my eye. When I heard him on Gary, he was on an interview with Gary Vee. I was super interested in it because I was like, I bet you I would really like this book. And he didn't have the rights to the whole book, but I guess the way it works with writers, he has the rights to all the sentences, paragraphs, chapters,
Mhm.
but not the book. So he split it into 10,000 NFTs in like different quotes, and
Oh,
you have the
nice.
rights to the quotes. So, and I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, well, this sounds cool. I'd like to get this, but I just totally forgot about it until he was on stage and he was like, oh, it was released in February. So I'm a little late to the game, which is
Yeah.
probably fine. But I found one that I loved, and I was at, and oh, anyways, the guy sitting next to me, he was looking, and then he's like, oh my gosh, like this one is me exactly. Like he was so excited and he bought it. And so flying home, I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to look at that. So I was going through and I found one that I loved, and it was closer to the floor. So I'm super excited now.
What was the floor?
0.11.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad at all. So
No.
I have the rights to this acceptance of my death has made everything easier.
Nice.
I loved it. So yeah, I'm super
So
happy about that.
there were two quotes I heard this week that I really enjoyed. I mean, I heard lots of quotes. There were
Uh-huh.
lots of sound bites this week, but
Yes.
the two that have stuck with me, and I say that with a lot of grace because one of them didn't really stick with me.
Oh,
But the first one was, "We've all been slapped across the face by the big floppy dick of Y."
that was a great one.
Like, that's when it wasn't that Kevin Smith. Was that Kevin
Yeah, that
Smith?
was Kevin Smith.
Oh my
And
gosh, Kevin Smith was great.
he was so good. I mean, I've seen the movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan, but you know, I like, you know, I've seen them. I enjoy them.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't say, oh, I don't like those. Like if he's in something like, oh, okay, that might be interesting.
Yeah.
But his NFT project does look interesting. The Kilroy was here. And
Yes.
I was driving today and I got the email that said the first 50 people to download on the computer, not on your phone. Oh, it's right, the email's right here. You had to download the Kepper wallet, which I don't have one. You got a Kill Where Was Here PFP.
Oh no. So I imagine they're all gone by now.
I imagine so. That was at 1:32 p.m.
No, there were so many good speakers. Like the people we met were the best part. The
Yes.
speakers were probably number two because they were all amazing. They all had great messages.
Mhm.
The other quote that I really liked, and the reason why it's not sticking in my brain, is
Mhm.
because when the speaker said it the first time, I was like, "Oh, that's an amazing
Mhm.
quote." And then he
Yeah.
said it the second time, and I was like, "Yeah, I love that quote." And then Gary Vee made him say it like 3 and 4 more times, and then he edited it when he was saying it. And
So
I
it's
didn't
different.
like the edited version. as well as I like the first one, but all the videos online are of the edited version. The gist was the false narrative of you being not good enough or you not being able to do something is exclusive in your own head.
I thought that was awesome as well.
I thought that was a fantastic quote. And I've listened to it about like 10, 15 times.
Nice.
I really hope that VeeCon will put the audio of these up for the attendees.
I hope so too. I hope so too.
Because I really would like to re-listen to a whole bunch of them.
Yes. And you miss it. Sunday was pretty awesome too. So two of my favorites, if I could, I guess.
Yes, please,
here.
Please.
And I did tweet this one out. Anyone who's following, but the I'm the king shit of NFT nerds.
The king shit
that people had said when they were asking if it's weird. He's like, yeah, well, here I'm the king shit of the NFT nerds when I'm at home in Charleston. Like it's nothing.
Yeah, nobody knows who I am.
I thought that was hilarious. And my second favorite quote is probably one that I don't. I mean, I guess it was on your radar, but I bet you it's gonna pull it out of the blue when hopefully soon friend of the show Bitbender from Gala Games said, I'll do an interview with you guys. That's probably that's like my second favorite quote.
Like I did not even realize, like besides Discord, again, it's the people you meet. So, you know, we met Bitbender, who was like so awesome. And I was trying to explain this to my wife last night. I'm like, we're playing games with this guy. Like we're hanging out, we're trash talking, we're playing games. And then he was like, oh, I got to give you guys something. And he came back with this awesome titanium bottle opener.
Yeah.
But like you knew who he was pretty much from the get-go. I knew him from Discord.
Yes.
But that's it. And like as he goes to go get his stuff, like what is it that he's big into? What's he the head of, the president of?
I forget his exact title, honestly.
I don't know. But anyway, the guy's like, oh, he's president of this. And I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, it's that guy. And we've been sitting here shooting the shit with him for like 45 minutes to an hour, just hanging out. And he was like, oh, I'd love to do an interview on your show. And we're like, oh, cool. Like we had a lot of people who were like, oh, we'll do an interview on your show. And we're like, sweet, people doing interviews. But then like later on, I'm like, wait, we know that. Oh, he's like a really big deal to get an interview with.
Like the head of marketing, something around. I mean, I don't want to quote it wrong, but I don't remember. I just knew that when I watch YouTube, he's the person that's on there talking about Gala Games. Any YouTube you see where Gala Games is somewhere talking to somebody, it's him talking. So I'm not going to say his name. I guess he's doxxed because they were saying his actual name.
He is kind of doxxed a little bit. Yeah. He's the VP. I'm looking him up right now.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to. Oh shoot! I accidentally went to his LinkedIn, which is not really what I was planning to. But so he was the winner of the 2014 Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Global Network Prize for $1 to solve the endemic. Right.
Nice.
He is the chief marketing officer for Gala Games. He is the director of Quotient, which is a proof of stake masternode cryptocurrency. He's a founder of Rubik Partners. He's in charge of Plato Coaching. He's in charge of the XP chain.
That's awesome. So we still don't know who the guy was who we were smack talking with.
Oh my gosh.
He was playing when we walked up. It was definitely a speaker and I didn't see. Well, here's a funny story too. So the first night I had my kilt on and there was another guy there with a kilt on. He came over and we were talking and I was like, oh, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm from Scotland, this and that. Nice. So, you know, I say hi, we walk off. And then, well, was it Saturday? I'm looking up on stage. He's sitting on stage talking.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's cool. So he's got like, I saved, I don't remember what NFT project he has, but I saved it. They're doing something like a party in the castle or something I saw on his website. I was like, I might have to look
Well,
this.
and there were people there that we never ran into that we were supposed to run into. And
Yes.
again, one of the things was we did not try really hard to like meet people. I know, right?
Yeah.
She keeps like going behind you and stuff. So I don't know if you guys can
It's
see his naked wife running back and forth, but she is. If you guys can unfocus that, she's totally nude in the background. Um, she doesn't
People,
listen to this,
so many
right?
people are going to be disappointed. She does. She's a listener of the show.
Oh, dang it.
But yeah, you're right. There were people who we really wanted to meet and didn't necessarily have a chance to run into. But you're right. We weren't. I mean, I think we were doing a little bit of everything. We wanted to see the people talking. We wanted to
Yes.
be there. And yeah, you're wandering around. But like I did run into a lot more people Sunday, which I mean I loved having you there. It was awesome. But
Right. Right.
Sunday I was just wandering around by myself. So I almost got tricked into upstairs. Remember how they kept on having the auctions?
Yes.
Well, Sunday they were having auctions of the V cards that were signed.
Oh,
So I
nice.
wandered up there just in time and I was just like, no, like if it was one of my tattoos, like maybe, but I was sitting there and they were getting done with the third one that I saw and someone goes, "Oh, sweet tattoo." And I turn around and it's Manny and Stephanie from V Friends News.
No way.
So yeah, I ended up seeing them and talking to them a bit and so yeah, they were super happy.
I did think that we hampered ourselves from meeting people, but also I think that was kind of the point, right? Like we met people, but we didn't meet the number that we would have met as solo artists,
Yes. But
which is okay.
I was glad to see them and of course I got to meet Gary real quick, but I found out that I had a video from it too and pictures. I thought I just had the pictures, which I was super thankful for because it was
Yes.
like in the 1 minute time lapse, it was a bunch of pictures. So I was like, these guys are good. But there must have been a setting on my phone where they were doing a video and somehow taking pictures at the same time.
What kind of phone do you got?
I don't know, whatever the Apple one is.
No. So my phone, like I noticed this today, always takes like 30, 40 pictures.
Okay.
So it takes like a little video so that
Yeah,
I think you can turn it into a GIF or whatever. And
that's
so
awesome.
I don't
So
know if
yeah, and you could hear it
everybody,
like, I said thank you for drawing the I forget what I said
your
exactly. I just
tattoo.
listened to it. Yeah, thank you for drawing the art for my tattoo. And he looks at me, says epic, and then turned, he did his five. I was like all in a blur, and then I'm like walking out like, oh wait.
You're like, oh man,
I
that
forgot
was the
I
fastest
forgot to
sex I've
give
had.
forgot to give him a hug.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean such a for him to stand out there all weekend and meet people and shake hands and everything was, I mean, he's a real dude. Like
four
really cares,
hours, 4 hours every single day.
at least.
So think about that, people. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this huge big guy running a
Thursday,
conference.
Thursday, Friday, because he was there
Oh,
all
because he's
night
at the
Thursday.
concert too. So think about that. He spent 4 hours just shaking hands and signing autographs straight.
Hmm.
I'm like, man, like I wouldn't have the patience to do that for an hour. And he did it 4 days, 4 hours, 16 hours of just saying hi. And he
Like
he loved it.
scheduled. Yeah, like
So he says
scheduled
he,
in. Like,
yeah. I'm just like, that's crazy.
mhm.
So the people who I was thinking that I wanted to meet that we didn't, we
Yes,
kind of met Board Becky. I wish we could have talked
that
to her, but
was
it is
hilarious.
what
That
it
would have
is.
been great. That would have been
Yeah,
great.
I've got it. I'll show that in a minute.
Mhm.
NFT Ignition was there, and I was sad we didn't see her.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if Data was there, but I follow her. Jeremy knows from the
Mhm.
VDAO. We were
Yes.
at the place, and it even said, if you're at the place, come visit and hang out. But I wasn't like really in the Discord, so I wasn't paying attention.
Yes.
And I'm so out of the Discord, the VDAO Discord, that I got on there the other day to say something like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Realized I'd never activated my holder status. Like I'm a Genesis holder.
Yeah.
I'm like, people are talking, they're like, hey, we just got in. It was awesome meeting you. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I went to say, and I'm like, wait, why don't I have all the channels? And I'm like, I've never been verified.
Yeah.
So
He called Jeremy out on stage. He's like, you're gonna be really busy. He's like, I see your little hat over there.
that is terrific. Well, I messaged Jeremy on Twitter, and just said, hey, I'm sad I didn't get to run into you, but I have a new idea that I would like, that I'm trying to mentally work through right now, but I might want to pick your brain. Would that be cool? And he was like, oh yeah, sure, anytime.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah,
I'm like, that's cool.
that was one thing that was cool because we were in that session and it wasn't, I mean, yes, we kind of wanted to learn a little bit more about the DAOs, but what came up and the idea going in and the ideas you had coming out, that they were that different was so cool.
Yeah, I tweeted that today. Probably the coolest thing for me about this conference, or just Web3 in general, is all the new ideas I'm always having. Now, will I operate any of those? I don't know. But just like figuring those out, right? And starting to work through that process, I just think is amazing. So let me show you some of the people I met that I thought was cool. So some of you may know that I'm mildly obsessed with this guy, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
So that's Fuocious, an awesome painter, young guy, maybe 18 or 19 now, right?
Yeah, 18 or 19.
Yeah, and he's big time. And he was just walking by and I like ran up and was like, oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration.
I'm glad I got your shirt so I can wear it today.
Look, you match it. So anyway,
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and he was awesome. He was like, thank you so much. And it was just nice, and just happened to catch him walking by. There's Board Becky, right? And for those of you, like, we took this picture and we tweeted it out and tagged her. And the best part is then, like, I don't know, 5 minutes later, she like does the slow turn and looks back at us. And we're like, ah!
We're like waving to her.
And her whole posse just starts cracking up. They're all laughing.
It was
so again, real people, and they're so cool. She's like cracking up. I didn't get to meet this guy, but my daughters have listened to him. And I'm always like, who is this guy? And I never listened to it. And then he's up on stage. And I'm just like, this guy is amazing. He's so real. And I'm like, I kind of would like to meet him. And my favorite part is look at this. He has Rick and Morty pants and shirts on.
Yes. So he's got to be cool. If he's wearing
got to be cool
stuff.
Well, and when I saw that, I'm like, I got to meet this guy because him and I are going to hang. But we didn't run into each other. And then I took this picture only because one of the things my wife loves about Mila is that she's so down to earth and so laid back. And I thought this was a great picture of her, like walking on stage at VeeCon, doing her talk. And look, she's in jeans and a sweatshirt. She had no gaudy jewelry on.
Talking about dick punches.
And she was talking about dick punches.
Telling Gina about that.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought it was pretty sweet. And then
awesome.
This was cool. So when we met with Gala Games and met with Bitbender, we're like, let's check out Ledger. And they had ledgers there for sale, which I need one. And they were like, scan the QR code. And I'm like, okay, scan the QR code. And then they're like, that puts you in a raffle. And I'm like, whatever, a raffle. And then there was like another raffle that you entered, and it was for like a tattoo. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm not doing a raffle for a tattoo. So, but then the next day they drew it. And it's funny because you didn't win the Nano. You won the opportunity to buy the Nano, which you and I kind of went up there pretty quickly after it was announced and bought mine. The artist was there, and so he signed it for me. So the actual Nano, you can't see it here, is etched with VeeFriends.
Yeah, that's
and obviously
so cool.
The package is, and so I had the artist sign it, and then I got home and I was just looking up like the sweatshirts and stuff on eBay. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if these Nanos went. And one of these Nanos with the art like this had just sold for, what did I say, $995?
Yeah.
So I won the opportunity to buy one for 150, but I could turn around and flip it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my wife was like, yeah, but it's like personalized to you. That would make it more valuable.
Exactly. Someone could say, "Listen, I had this when Ballbuster was just starting out."
Right. Before he was anything, I had that. So anyway, that was kind of super cool, I thought, you know.
Yes.
So
I
got
meant
that.
to
I
go
haven't
back.
used it yet.
I meant to go back up there on Sunday and just to see like if people didn't actually pick them up, like if
Hmm.
they didn't bother to check or whatever. But Sunday was so epic, just like bang, 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 right after another. It was just like I didn't want to get up because it
Yeah.
was I forget who was before Snoop. And then Snoop came out, and then Gary finished, and then they were just
Yeah.
kicking everybody out.
They just were like out.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, I want to go that way. I don't want to go where the sheep are going. They're like, you need to go that way. I was like, okay. so so I was trying to go out by the Ferris wheel and then up to
Oh
Ledger,
yeah.
but I went up the side, but everyone was leaving. Everything was getting tore down. Although I was walking by and Quarter Machine, was that the name, Quarter Machine?
Yes. Yep. Quarter
So
machine.
they were just throwing out shirts randomly as people
Oh
were
no.
walking by. So I got a Quarter Machine shirt, which was
Nice. That's super cool, I think.
cool.
They yeah, there's lots of just cool things there, cool speakers, cool
Mhm.
everything. And the people there, it was
Mhm.
easily the nicest as far as people being kind and patient conference I've ever been to.
I agree.
Like you
I
could
agree.
just walk up and start talking to people and everybody was like talking to you and was so chill. It,
Well,
it was just amazing.
I did have someone stop me. They stopped me. They said, "You look famous. I want to talk to you." And I said, "Okay." So we talked, and I was like, "Well," I said, "I'm famous in my own mind." I said, "But you might have seen me on the big screen earlier today." And he's like, "That's it." He's like, "I saw those arms." So that was cool. But his son wasn't there because he was getting ready to have his first baby. So he was there and like getting people's info and stuff like that, and like, hey, but I was already following his son, so I reached out. I said, "Your pops is cool," and so
Nice.
yeah, that was pretty awesome. But it was funny,
Well,
like, yeah, everyone's famous to somebody else. You don't
oh yeah. Yeah.
like.
My
Well, look, like,
daughters, when I got home, were like, that is so cool. Like you were at this conference with all these super cool people, and they're like, and people know about your TikToks and stuff like that. They're like, that's just crazy to us. And I'm like,
mhm,
really? Because it feels like just normal stuff.
yeah,
So
exactly. Well, sitting next to
the
the
Boss Beauty,
the Boss Beauties,
yes.
that was
And
super cool.
I joined their Discord today.
Well, see, for me, I already have too many Discords, so I
Well, that's it.
try
I
to
have
keep
so
it like
many.
where it's just like where I'm really gonna pay attention, and I think I'm even gonna cut back a little bit more.
Well, that's the thing I was thinking. I'm like, I need to first off call my Discord. And then the other thing though is NFTs that I really like that have utility, like the DAOs and that I should be in those Discords and I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm in the unicorn Discord. Like
You haven't left that one yet? Are
I
you the
put it in
only
like
one
I
there?
put like 5 of my dead projects all in like a little spot.
Oh,
And
okay.
when I want to laugh, I go click on them and then go see what all the dead things are doing.
Oh, nice. See, there you go. That's a good idea.
Mhm. Sit, listen to people cry and complain.
Wait, I did join a new one. Which new one did I join? I joined, oh, the Tower Dogs. I haven't even looked at that yet. In the scab shop, that was to get the tattoo stuff. I did see a girl won it, or someone won it and gave it to a girl. She got a tattoo on
Nice.
her ankle.
Nice.
There was something else I was thinking that I wanted to. We were talking about famous people. I don't remember now. It doesn't matter. But yeah, for me, I wish I would have, because we were trying to avoid lines, and
Hmm.
I only stood really in one line. It was well worth it. But I kind of wish I would have seen the women and weapons. I do have 4 of those.
Yeah.
And I do wish I would have stopped to try to catch Danny Cole because, I do have 2 of those.
I thought
And
we would look at the women and weapons, but they didn't have a line the one time we went by.
but she
But
wasn't there, was she?
Oh, you're right.
there
She
was another
wasn't.
girl sitting there.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Because I went by on Sunday and there was like a little line and I was like, meh. But I was just kind of, I was thinking about getting something to eat. But then I'm walking and there's the giant crowd coming and it was
Yeah.
Gary and Sasha. So I got two pictures, one in each picture. I might be able to put them together, but they're both standing next to each other. But like one, the head is in front of Gary and the next one, the head is in front of Sasha. But I mean, I didn't try to cut in to get closer. I mean, people were, but I mean, I
Right.
just seen them earlier in the day. And so that was cool. And then I ended up
That's
not
super
eating
cool.
it all because I
Oh,
was
darn
sitting
it.
there watching Gary talk to people. And then trying to like, I don't think it's stalking, but you're like, wait, someone's got to go to the bathroom soon. So if you go to the bathroom now, I could catch him in the. Who was saying that? Oh, Logan Paul was saying that. People trying to
Trying to
say
see
hi
with
in
the
the
bathroom. And he's like, dude. Yeah, I was really happy with Logan Paul. There's just so
I
many
was
real
too. I
people,
was.
so many cool people, so many
Mhm.
cool projects. It was just there's a lot of awesomeness, right? There's a
Yes.
lot of awesomeness. Speaking of about the people being awesome, how crazy is this? So you've ridden the light rail, right?
Yep.
So I get on the light rail, nobody's in my car really. We start driving out, we're at the stadium. This guy and his kid get on and they come and sit by me, which is weird in general, right?
Hmm.
And they're kind of just like chatting. And I look at them, I'm like, VeeCon people, huh? And they're like, yeah, you. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, we were able to get tickets kind of at the last minute. And so then we talked the entire way to the airport,
That's so
right?
cool.
The kid does cross country and wrestling. He's a sixth grader. So he
Hmm.
got to go to VeeCon as a sixth grader. I'm like, all conferences are ruined for you now. I go,
Forever
there's
and
no
ever.
conferences.
That's awesome. I remember you telling me about that. That's super
Yeah. But
cool.
so meeting people like that, and then the whole time you're at like the airport and everything, you're thinking about, oh, are these people VCon? Or
Hmm.
it was a cool experience because of that.
Yeah.
So the
I
people
thought
really made it cool.
I thought another thing that was super cool today was that a lot of people were posting that they saw Gary at the airport because he usually flies like on a normal plane. He doesn't fly private. He talks
Right.
about that a lot. I mean, I'm sure he was up in first class, but he's still chilling in the airport. So
Right.
I saw a bunch of pictures today of people like, oh my gosh, Gary's at the airport. So yeah, that would have
He
been
used the restroom. I talked
yeah,
to him.
right next. I was trying to shake his hand. So I mean, I was already a big fan, and just being there and all that was just crazy for me. It was insane.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what are your predictions for next year?
I was talking to someone about this. Um, they were saying that it has to be in the US again because it's really got to get more people and then maybe overseas for the third. Where originally I was thinking it's going to be overseas next year. But the guy I was talking to, he was right where most of the people are here and how many would not go because like I mean it could be I mean this isn't saying Toronto. If it's in Toronto, that's not going to be a huge surprise, but
Right,
that's
right,
still basically the United States. It's our glorious friends from Canada. But where 80% of the people have to get on a plane and go to wherever, as opposed to, I mean, whatever the breakdown is, but just guessing if it's 80% in the United
right.
States. So I don't know. I think it's still going to be amazing. He definitely set a bar. He pointed out some of the mistakes that he had made and that he's got to work on. So like
Like what?
the line was a big one, the
Oh,
merchandise line and the
yeah,
people pushing and whatever happened
yeah.
early
He
on
was
in
like, we're
that.
not going to do limited merch again.
And
Like,
then
yeah.
what was the he just said a couple other things, like a couple hiccups here and there. So
Did I hear him say today that he thinks it would have been better in like a basketball arena versus a field?
if he said that, I missed it.
It was like a little Twitter video. I
Okay.
thought that's what he said, and I thought, oh, is he going to switch it?
Yeah, I was only on Twitter for a little bit today,
Yeah,
like this morning, and then yeah, I am trying to like he did make a comment like the big thing he really wants to come out of V Friends is that we are spreading happiness and we are spreading joy and we are
Yeah.
spreading the things he talks about. But he made a comment. He's like, if you're a truly happy person, talk about it. People are on social media and they're complaining, and maybe if someone's complaining, maybe reach out, like, why are you hurting, blah blah blah, something like that. But he's like, more importantly is to talk about the happiness. So I'm going to try to do that. I've already put a couple posts out of why I'm a happy person or why I think that, and
Mhm.
just go from there and share that. That's not something I share. It's not like, I mean, I don't know if you're caught up on the polos or not, but Jason and I were talking about it a little bit. And
I don't even think I got any messages that I had polos.
yeah, he and I were talking about it yesterday, but just talking about that
Did you guys
happiness,
leave me out of polos?
especially being, it wasn't something that instantly came to me, especially like when I was younger. My self-talk was like the worst ever.
It's just you and him talking. I have no polos from you guys.
What? Did he do that? If so, I am sorry. There were some good combos. No, Brian, Jason, and Jeremy. Yeah,
Mine doesn't have any.
you gotta highlight that. He and I were talking. It says you're on here.
I just
Is
jumped
it
on just
is it
now.
me laying in bed, the newest one you have?
Yeah. Playing that is the newest one, which I watched.
Yeah, did you listen to any of those?
Well, yeah, but that was from like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's when we were
Oh, I
talking
thought
about
you were
it.
saying today you had a whole bunch.
No, on Sunday we had a whole bunch,
Oh, that's
but
like
I wasn't sure if you'd caught up or not.
that's
So,
like ancient history
oh
Sunday.
my goodness. So
Come
yeah,
on.
I'm gonna rise to that challenge and try to spread happiness and joy.
I think that's important. I think that's a big thing to do. Better than spreading being a dick, probably.
Yes, what's hard, it doesn't really work well for me, so try to avoid
I have
that.
no issues with it, like whatsoever.
I,
So,
I loved when he's like, someone come up here and give me a good reason why it's okay to be a dick.
I did think about going up there.
Did you're gonna raise your hand?
I was like, I mean, if for no other reason than to be on stage would be a big reason,
Yeah.
but I can always think of good reasons to do stuff.
Compelling argument, I think is what he said. So it
Mhm.
was hilarious.
I'm good at giving compelling arguments.
You are very good at
Whether they're good or right or not is
it.
arguable. But yeah, so anyway, lots and lots of good came out of this. I was super happy with it. I was gonna say I don't know if I came in with expectations. So I think it was easy to meet my expectations, right? Like
Yeah.
I didn't
I
have
mean,
big thoughts going in. So
I figured it was gonna be, I mean, I have already drank all the Kool-Aid. I thought it was gonna be awesome, and I was more than impressed. I mean, there were a couple things here and there, but yes, being a first year and stuff, nothing that I would be like, oh, or nothing that I would have even pointed out, but just like little things that I noticed. So I don't think a big deal at all. But thankfully, my 20 years of show experience, being the, well, officially second in line, because I did give my spot up to that guy. He was so excited. He
was
was
he?
so excited to be first. So I loved that.
See, that's spreading kindness right there.
Yes, that
Right.
was.
Yeah. For those of you who didn't follow on TikTok, we didn't realize it the first day, but we went through the Skyway, which is a super cool thing in Minneapolis. It's like 7 miles of Skyway between buildings. And so we took that to the stadium. I had never been in there. Kilted wanted me to see it. So we walked through and we walked right into the stadium. Like just walked right in, walked in like with our food. Like we had coffees and stuff, and we just walked right in. They're like, "How are you guys doing?" We're like, "We're doing great. How are you?" They're like, "Good." And we walk out and we're literally at the top of the stadium on the concourse. And we're like, "Oh, we're here." And all of a sudden you see people like pouring into the stadium, like running into the
Like
stadium.
World War Z, like.
Yeah. And we're like sitting there like watching and we're like, huh, maybe that wasn't like the way we were supposed to go in. And nobody like scanned us. Nobody did anything. We
Mm-mm.
went through the metal detector and they were like, peace. They searched your bag.
Yeah, because I had asked the day before, because I was up there wandering around, like, hey, will I be able to get in here tomorrow? because
Hmm.
if it was going to be cold, I didn't want to be outside. I would rather
Right.
take the trails in. So yeah, that's how I got in Sunday as well. I wasn't sure what time the doors opened, but as I was walking down 7th Street, whatever, I saw a big old line of people outside. So I hung a quick left. I went in the parking garage, walked up, walked straight in. Like,
And had no issue again,
and
right?
I was first in line.
And you were first in line. Yep. Yeah. Well,
So
think about it. We could have been first if we had known. We could have been first in line for merch.
yeah,
Like,
because we weren't really thinking about that. We weren't trying to be sneaky at all. That's what I mean,
no.
I talked about that on the TikTok too, but like you can use these hacks in life.
Yes. And we were happy to get in, but we weren't trying to be sneaky. And again, it's kind of like the meeting people. We could have gone out. We could have met tons of people. We could have spread our brand name. We could have done all that jazz. But we were living in the moment.
Yes, which
And
I
I
love.
and I thought living in the moment was more important. So
Yeah, because even like looking at the pictures I took and stuff, I didn't take a ton of pictures. It was something, I don't know if I read it in a book or saw it somewhere, but talking about being in that moment, just like you said, as
yeah.
opposed to behind the camera doing this. And I mean, we post for pictures and we got some cool pictures and stuff, but I think
Yes.
I agree for 99.9% of the time, we were just there and it was awesome.
And it was just great. So yeah, we'll probably give you these other things we think about to let you know
Yeah,
other stuff.
I agree.
We're also going to be featured on a couple other podcasts giving our thoughts about VeeCon. So we will tweet out other podcasts that we're on. But yeah, for me, totally 2 thumbs up. So I've been to tremendous amounts of conferences, not just as a vendor like you have, but lots and lots that I've attended. And this is pretty high on my list.
That's
Pretty high on
awesome.
my list. So it was a good time. So actually, that's kind of weird. Like, it'd be interesting to try to rate this with other conferences we've gone to. They're just different. I
Yeah,
don't know
they,
if you can compare them. It's like apples and oranges.
yeah.
Hmm. But it was definitely pretty sweet. I will tell you, for some of our listeners, out of all the conferences I've been to, this had the most swag given to me.
Yeah, exactly. Because we got the
So
candy digital stuff. Well, I got
yes.
the shirt. There was lots, even lots of other places you could have gotten more.
Oh god, there were tons of places you could get stuff, and the breakfast and all that. Like
Oh yeah,
normally when we
yes,
go to
breakfast.
a
Hmm.
like if you go to a gaming conference, they're not feeding you. They're not
Yeah,
giving you drinks. You're lucky if you can find a water fountain,
yeah.
right?
There was a pancake breakfast on Sunday morning brunch, and it was
Yeah.
like up the people who would do like little designs and stuff like that. I missed
No
it.
way.
It was well worth missing. Yeah, because I saw people carrying around V-Friend pancakes.
Well, and then we got the Chipotle thing where they're like, hey, for your ride home, we got Chipotle. So use the app, order Chipotle. I'm like, holy cow, just there was lots of
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Hmm.
It was sweet. So yeah, big thumbs up from Ballbuster. Had a great time. Um, if you get a chance to go next year, if you can buy in, you should buy in.
I would
So
say
it
go.
was worth it. It was worth it. And if Pharrell is listening to this, because I'm sure he's about to be a new fan, you
Hmm.
shut your damn mouth about filling those stands, Pharrell.
Yeah, exactly. Don't pass out that memo. I loved the number of people in that size stadium. I thought it was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. Well, and it was funny that Gary was up there. Like he said, "You're gonna fill this stadium next year." Gary's like, "Nope, no, we won't. No, we
Not
won't."
even close.
Because they could have. They could have
Easily.
filled that stadium, but they chose not to, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
So
And I guess it sounds like you're winding down, but one last thing, when
yeah,
he announced the collaboration with Snoop Dogg and himself, that's going to be airdropped to all the ticket holders.
yeah.
I looked back, I saw a ticket was at 0.18, but even in like the 5 minutes that I saw, it was at 0.25. And I don't know where it's at now, but yesterday it
Point four.
was, yeah, 0.4. So
It
those,
is
like those tickets jumped instantly, just doubled in price.
to give you an idea of, I mean, just things that are funny. You can buy a ticket on the floor right now for point 0.4. or a V Friends 2 for 0.5.
I'm gonna have to get some ETH.
I'm like, that is so funny to me that a used ticket is worth almost as much as a V Friend 2.
Yep.
So
With the Snoop Dogg Gary V collab.
yeah, yeah,
It was awesome.
that was super awesome. So anyway, thanks. You guys will be hearing lots of our ideas that have come through. You'll be seeing a lot of connections. We had lots of people who want to be guests on the show, so you'll be getting some of that. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Leave us some comments or give us a tweet if you have any questions or any wonderings, and we'll try to answer it in our next episode. This is a Ballbuster signing off.
Got the Dragon Jer. Love you all.